Good afternoon, campers. It is indeed Friday, and I am actually doing a flip through on Friday, no less, this time. I thought about doing a color and chat since I hadn't done one this week, but then I was like, I really want to go ahead and do this one today, and then I will try and post a color and chat either later today or tomorrow. So, these aren't from my collection. I will include them as part of my collection series, my coloring book collection series, but these are new purchases that I've made this week. I'm trying to think. There will be a special flip through next Wednesday. That is when Marjorie Sarnat's new book is being released. It is Birds and Blossoms, I believe. Let me look and make sure I say that correctly. Yes, Birds and Blossoms will be out next Wednesday. I did indeed pre-order it, and I will do a flip through the day I receive it, so that'll be a fairly short video since it's just that one. However, I did go a little crazy ordering some coloring books this week. I've had my eye on for a while, and I figured we'd go ahead and run through these, and then I suppose next Friday we'll get back to what I have in my actual collection, like that I didn't buy new. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I can find a place to put my stack without knocking over a bunch of stuff. I swear everything looks organized for like 2 days, and then it's just slowly getting worse. Alright, so after getting Fantasy Quest by Sunlife Drawing, I thought I'm going to definitely color in the book, and I'm glad to have it, but I was looking for something that was a little more maybe medium level color by number that didn't have quite so many small numbers in them. And with it being Mandala Mania this month, hashtag Mandala Mania 2019, you guys seem to have that one down pretty well according to Instagram. But I'm still going to put a plug in for it. I decided to get one mandala related. This is Mosaic Mandala color by number. This is by Sunlife Drawing. Make sure I have that correct. Yes. The color palette is on the back, and it is the same throughout, which is nice. With this one, I might actually do a flip through because these are a little easier to see. With a lot of their books that are color by number, it's just a big square with a lot of little cutouts or little sections that have the actual numbers for them. You also have the color palette here, and you can put one color yourself here to match up with it. I'm getting to the point where I kind of like to do that with my color by numbers that I use markers with. I have so many markers that a lot of times if I find one that I feel like is truly a red or a black or whatever, I make a note of it so I can use that one pretty consistently across the book. So this would be a good place to do that. Over here, this reads, I'll just read a little bit of it. The Mosaic Mandala Color by Numbers, an activity book which helps you relax and relieve the stress while coloring 30 pictures of beautiful mandalas. It is very simple, as you need just to color mosaic elements according to the number using your favorite colored pens, pencils, or markers. So, in terms of book size, I got my good old standby Creative Haven here as like your average book size, coloring book size. This one is definitely shorter than your standard coloring book, and then width wise it is just a little bit wider than your Creative Haven books. Did not know that when I ordered it. Again, I don't pay much attention to book size. I don't mind this at all. I just want other people to be aware of that. Alright, so let's get started. This side shows you, I believe, which colors you're actually using in that particular mandala. I will be coloring out of this one. I don't know. Let me zoom in a little. We'll just zoom into the actual mandala. There we go. I don't know if I will be doing this one on camera or off camera, but I will definitely be coloring in this one very soon. if not this weekend. I do apologize that I have been rather quiet this week. I haven't been watching much of ColorTube. I haven't done any videos since my first look. Oreo, honey, there's no room over here. I'm sorry. You can... alright. Sorry, guys. My cat, Oreo, has decided he's going to make some room. Let me move one thing. There, you can sit there on the corner while I'm doing this. Or you can come up on the desk. That works too. Oreo may be making a small appearance. Hey, buddy. But no, I have been struggling a bit this week with a lot of the stuff that I've been talking about in previous videos. Those look a little weird. Not going to say what they look like, but I bet if your head's in the gutter, you already know what I was going to say. I like that one. It's like a snowflake. It's very pretty. I like these a lot. They are... I wouldn't say they are super simple. When I think of super simple color by number, I think of probably more like a kid's color by number book, like the Cute Cats color by number, where you have very big spaces and the numbers are very big and easy to see like they are here. That's what I think of when I think of like a simple color by number, maybe like a beginner color by number. This I would call kind of intermediate. Your numbers are certainly way bigger than they are in a lot of the other color by number books that I have. I don't need a magnifying glass to see these. They are a pale gray instead of a black, so that more than likely you're going to cover up the number mostly as you color, which for some people is very appealing. It does make them a tad bit harder to see, but, and look, I'm blind as a bat. I constantly note that I use my magnifying glass, and while it would make this even easier, as you can see, I don't necessarily need it for these numbers. So if I can read them, then that's they're pretty good size. So yes, Oreo. He is just sitting on the edge of the desk just watching. No, I have been continuing to struggle. It was like Monday was a decent day, and then the rest of the week has just kind of hit the, well, hit things I'd rather not say, because I'm trying to keep this relatively PG-13. But and plus, I know I make a lot of off-color remarks, but I try not to do it as much during the flip-throughs, because, you know, I want everybody to actually be able to see these and not feel too offended, hopefully, by what I say. I say that after some of the comments I just made, but there's a thank you page. Thank you for choosing this book. If you enjoy it, please write your review on Amazon. That is something I'm not very good at, is writing reviews on Amazon for these books, and I need to start doing so for all of my coloring books. They have a follow us, they have an Instagram account, Facebook account, and Twitter account. And then you got a blank page. Would be good if you wanted to test. However, after looking at the back here, I am fairly confident. When I see this backing here, even if I don't know based on the description, I'm relatively confident this is Create Space paper. So, if you were curious. I probably don't say that enough, or I wait till the very end to tell y'all. We'll continue with the Sunlife drawing ones. Hi, Oreo. Well, maybe we will. Hi, Oreo. Can you say hi to everybody? He's like, what are you doing? Petting him is probably not helping. Hey. You're going to make me have to stop this and come back, aren't you? Yes, you are. Oh, he's rubbing against stuff. Okay. Buddy, I love you, but now's not the time. Oh, he's calling me. He's not a cat that's easy to just pick up. Anyway, all right. Now, y'all know me. Normally, I would just stop the video and come back and love on him, but I really don't want to have to render this video and piece everything together, so we're just gonna, he's getting his one moment where he's ignored for just a few minutes, and he will survive. This is also by Sunlife Drawing. This is Travel Mosaic, color by number. Again, comparing to Fanciful Faces. It is the same height. It is just a little bit wider, which is a little odd, but nothing wrong with that. I mean, just a little bit, like maybe an inch wider than the Creative Haven book. Alright, so Travel Mosaic is pretty much like Mosaic Mandala in that there's a color by number. You get a basic palette here on the back here. And then when you look inside, you get your nameplate page. And I believe you can color this in however you please. Travel Mosaic Color by Number is an activity book which helps you to relax and relieve the stress while coloring 25 pictures of famous worldwide sites. It's very simple, as you need to just color mosaic elements according to the numbers from the 22 color palette on the back cover. And this gives you a list of all the worldwide sites that are in the book. You have your color palette on the back of each page like this. You have a black backing. This was the same in the Mosaic Mandala. You could see that, so there's really no sense in me saying it, but they have black backings. They are not perforated, and they are single-sided pages. Here again, you have another color palette that you can set up on your own. Then we have the palette listed over here, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it did that because the page is, of course, going to be landscape, which is a very nice touch, actually. That seems like a very small thing, but it would be really annoying to have to keep going back and forth like this if I was coloring this one, so. Well, we'll get there. Oreo's not happy. I'm gonna sit here looking at me. He is not happy. I will flip through these, as you can see some of these pretty easily. Again, I would call these kind of a medium level. You get the faded gray numbers, but they are large enough that it's easy to see without needing a magnifying glass. I really like, there's two things I still need to get. I still need to get a better microphone, and I want one of those magnifying glasses that I can just attach to the desk, that I can just put over something and I don't need that extra hand for it. So, well, I'm doing a lot of flipping back and forth, but you guys get the idea. Oh, another landscape. You can see the images in these a little better than you can like the Fantasy Quest and stuff. Generally with those, like, I don't look at what the finished product is supposed to be because I like to be surprised. I kind of wish they would put that stuff in the back. Maybe not necessarily with a book like this, because it's pretty easy to see what these are even before you color them in this book, but in like their Fantasy Quest books and stuff, I really wish they would put at the back what the fantasy creatures are that you're coloring. That way you're not spoiled like right from the get-go. I just don't look very closely at that page. That would be nice. That if I had any any one little nitpick, that would be it. I like the little fireworks with this one. It's really nice. Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth. But it does make more sense when I show it to you this way. These are ones that I think I'd really enjoy just sitting and coloring. Just the way, the mood I've been in lately and the way I've felt, these will probably get quite a bit of use. Another thank you. If you enjoy this, please write your review on Amazon. Again, more social media links there. Looks like they did that right in the middle. Oh, these are pictures from their other books. Okay, so here's a trial page from Animal Mosaics. Mosaic Mandala. Their Christmas Mosaic, which I do not have and probably will get come Christmas time. And then you got your blank page in the back. So with this book, you do get a few trial pages in the back part from the other books. So that's kind of neat. I like that. I like when they do that. And finally, from Sunlife Drawing, we have Animal Mosaic, color by number. This is similar in size to the Travel Mosaic that I just looked at. A little bit wider, but the same height as your average coloring book. This book belongs to. You get your greeting again. This is 25 mosaics featuring cute animals. Again, you get your list of the animals here. Your color palettes, same layout, black backing, one-sided, not perforated. These are just fun, I think. Just something where it requires a little bit of thought, a little bit of effort. Oreo finally got mad at me. A little bit of thought, a little bit of effort, but not that I need like the magnifying glass to actually see what I'm doing, or I'm just filling in teeny tiny bubbles, and I have to really be in the mood for something long term like that. Otherwise you get kind of, or I get kind of discouraged because it's just filling a bunch of bubbles in and bubbles and bubbles. Sometimes I want to actually make some significant progress in one coloring sitting and not need 5 hours to do it. Ooh, bet I know what that one is. Bet I know what that one is. I know it seems silly to do a flip through of these, but like I said, you can see when you really look at these what they are. So I don't feel as much know which one I'm coloring first. I don't feel as like I'm just like the Fantasy Quest. It's, you know, a bunch of bubbles or just different shapes, and you can't see what it is, so you're just kind of like, oh, okay, I show you one or two of those pages, you kind of get the gist. But I feel like I can show you guys all the book in this case. Good amount of cats represented. Me likes. These people know their audience, me. Thank you page with your social media. We have more test pages back here. We have the Travel Mosaic. We have Christmas Mosaic. Mosaic Mandala. I believe these are the same pages as we saw in the previous book. And you do get the legends for them on the page beside them. So that are unique to those books. So it's not... Actually, I'm curious now that I've said that. I bet they do change them slightly. Actually, I don't believe they do. I'm sitting here looking at this. I believe this has all their books may have the exact same legend, which would be kind of cool in terms of consistency, but it sure looks like it, don't it? Huh. Well, there you go. Learn something new every day. So those are the Sunlife drawing books that I purchased. Oh. Make sure everything is a-okay. Alright, I meant to look up what this meant before I started this video, and I did not, and I don't want to stop now. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this, because it's not going to go. It's not going to go right. We all know this. This is by Rita Berman. This is my first Rita Berman book that I've purchased. Let me back out for a second. As you can tell, it is a smaller book. It is shorter than your standard book, and it is just a little thinner, or a little not as wide, maybe about another inch there as this book. So these books, and I'm sure they're consistent, are a little bit smaller, so keep that in mind. Again, I don't pay attention to these things when I'm ordering them. Not that I mind, I just want to let others know. Back of the book, again, not even gonna try it. I'm sure there is a translation on Amazon. Like I said, I don't want to stop this video to have to go do that, so I've had my eye on these books for a while. Looks like there's a little ink spilled on the cover there. I've had my eye on these books for a while, so I wanted to purchase one. Sorry, I'm hearing a lot of weird cat noises. Looks like you have a greeting here. And then we get started with the book. These are double-sided pages. I'm not sure what type of paper is used, but it feels like very smooth, nice paper. Well, not super smooth, but it feels like smoother, really nice paper. Pencils will do very well on this. Alcohol markers, you are probably going to have some bleed through. So just be sure you don't care about, let me back up just a hair. Be sure you don't care about the image on the other side if you're going to use markers. Watercolors, I do not know. I can see the other image as I'm moving the page, so these are probably a little thinner. It's a little thinner paper. I suspect you're going to get a lot of waving. You're going to get some waving and buckling if you use watercolors. I've been buying new art supply stuff too, so now I have new books to test it on as well. I'll talk about those probably in a different video. I'm going to have a first look video at some of them over the coming weeks, so, and that will probably be the last I buy for a while. I know I keep saying that, but this little bit was, did you kill it? Did you kill it? Oh, what a good hunter. What a good hunter. My cat Sid has these little puff balls toys that I had found her, and she'll walk around the house with them, keening, I guess is how you would describe it. She'll go howling. Well, howling for her, she never meows. She'll go howling through the house with them in her mouth, and then she drops them and looks at you, and you have to tell her she's a good hunter and pat her on the head and, you know, tell her what a good job she did. These are super cute pictures. Like, I love the different little roosters here. And of course, we got kitty cats. I guess my other books are kind of weird. I was sitting here thinking, usually I have like a strange book of the week, And I guess the next couple I have are kind of my strange books. This is my pretty book in terms of I could probably spend hours and hours blending and shading colored pencils in this. It's very cute. I'm glad I got this one. It was hard to decide out all the different ones she had, but I think this is the one I like the best out of all of them. That's pretty. So you do have some double page spreads in here. You do have little ones right here. This would actually be really good as a test page to figure out which colored pencils I like the best in here. You do have a few pattern pages, but not many. Not many at all. You even have some blank space if you choose to put something yourself in there or just do a pretty background with. Ooh, I like the swans. Very pretty. I like the little park setting here too. Just really pretty pictures. I've seen quite a few other people color out of Rita Berman books, so I've definitely wanted one for a while. I love the little sheet, the way she drew them with the little patterns. And then here are some of her other books. To me, it looks like these are seasonal type books, so this looks more like a summer. That one, spring, maybe. And then you have winter. Or maybe this is spring. I don't know. They look like they're kind of seasonal, so that's cool. I've always liked books that do that. So here we go with this one. Again, I apologize, but I mispronounce a lot of things, and I do not want to mess that title up. Alright, now for my unique purchases for the week, we have my first one, which is Back to the 80s. Let me back out. I'll have to get some coffee too. I saw Samantha Oswald, I think, go through this one in the other book that I have, and I've had them on my list forever, and I finally was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get them. These look like a lot of fun. I am indeed an 80s and 90s child, so these are right up my alley here. This is Back to the 80s, 1980s Fads and Fashion Coloring Book for Adults. This is Create Space. Excuse me, Amazon printed paper. Still can't say it right. So when compared to this book, it is like barely taller. We'll just say it's the same size, and width wise it's just a little wider, but again, we'll just say about the standard width and height. So this is by that's interesting. I just noticed there's a little bit of a curve, a bump to the book, if you will. I don't think it affects the pages because I've already looked through this, and there we go. This is by LightBurst Media. Do not see an artist. Bonnie Bright. Of LightBurst Media. So here's a greeting. We are glad you've decided to embark on a coloring adventure with Back to the 80s, 1980s Fads and Fashion Coloring Book for Adults. It's recommended you use colored pencils. If you use other mediums, you can place a blank sheet under the page you're coloring. Extra sheets of paper in the back of the book that you can use for this purpose or to test out color combinations. Again, love when coloring book publishers do that. Love it. Extra pages are always nice. Even if it's just 1 or 2 extra pages, I always enjoy that. Show us your finished coloring pages. Here's some of their social media information. This, I didn't notice. My husband noticed this. It is a mixtape. So here is a playlist that you could create. Oh, it says this playlist is actually on Spotify. So you search for Back to the 80s Coloring Book Mixtape, and you can find it in Spotify. and it shows who the username will be, which is LightBurst Media. And this is an actual playlist, so while you're coloring, you can get yourself fully into the 80s experience. It's because we got like Paula Abdul here, Tainted Love by Soft Cell, Weird Science by Oingo Boingo, is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's an O. It's an O. No, it's an O. It's Tricky by Rum DMC. This looks like a lot of fun. I may have to go look this up. So, anyway, here we go. If you grew up in the 80s or you had a lot of experiences in the 80s as an adult, I think they really hit home with these types of books. I don't know. To me, as I went through them, they look spot on. Oh, that crimper. I had that crimper when I was a little kid. I remember it. It was like a pinkish purple. That thing fried so much hair. So much hair. That sweater. I was born in 81, so yeah, I'm going to be 38 this year. But, actually, this reminds me, have any of you ever seen the movie Music and Lyrics? Oh gosh. What's rewinding? The kids say these days. Oh, those pants. I think I had some of those pants in 7th grade. So, these are it's so funny. I was looking at this, and I was thinking Aerosmith, and my husband was thinking Guns N' Roses. So, I think they were trying to, like, merge it all in so it wasn't one specific band. It's just kind of a merge of all the hair bands of the time. But, completely lost what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. So, I was born in 81, so I was on the tail end of a lot of this stuff as I got to, as I was growing up, but I still remember quite a bit of this. That looks like, no, I was going to say that reminds me of the one from Rainbow Bright, but her horse doesn't have a unicorn, does it? I can't remember. Gosh. See, look, I'm 38. It's starting to go, but I do know the Troll Doll. A lot of the arcade stuff I think my husband got a kick out of, which I do too. I actually love watching a lot of documentaries they do. I think one's called King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters or something like that, where they talk about all the people that like set records on arcade games like that back in the 80s when that really became a big deal, and how they're still running those types of competitions and stuff. Actually, you know, a lot of speed running seems to come off of that, where you go, that's where you're starting to get into like Nintendo and Super Nintendo and running speed runs that way. Oh goodness, those computers. So many memories. Let's see, what were my things in the 80s? Rainbow Bright. I think we already talked about that. My Little Pony, I know, was a big thing growing up. Of course, well, you got your Atari 2600 here. I'm trying to think. I can't remember if we had an Atari or not. I do know we had a Nintendo. What is this thing with the cord on it? Care Bear. It's almost like a fine thing. Like, you got Aquanet right there in Ghostbusters. Like, the longer I sit and look at that picture, the more I could point out stuff. I think I still use Totally. Oh my gosh. Let's see what else. Jim and the Holograms. Oh, I was talking about Music and Lyrics, the movie with Hugh Grant and Drew Barrymore. Now, I mean, it's not gonna win any awards or anything, but I think it's cute. The band in there is supposed to look like one of those one-hit wonder 80 bands, and I think Pop Goes My Heart is like their main song, and so when I saw the Pop, that's totally what made me think of that. Alright, So then we have some of their other books. Space Dreams looks interesting. Gift Wrap Redux, Groovy 70s. Fashion Forward, 1960s. And then we got a couple blank pages in the back. But yeah, now I'm gonna have lots of memories as I page through this book and this other one, because you know, I just said I'm an 80s and 90s kid, and I'm about to knock everything off. Oh my goodness. Oh. Hang on. Here. Take a look at that for a second. There we go. So if I was going to get the 80s one, I had to get a 90s one. This is I Love the 90s, the 1990s coloring book. And there it went. Actually, my big box of sharpeners about hit the floor. That would have been worse. That was just my swatch book. No big deal. Come here. Well, it was just my swatch book. Anyway, and the book I was using for comparison. This one's the same size as the previous book, though, so about your average coloring book size. I just won't roll back. I'll get it. I'll get it when I stop this video. No stops. No stops. See, y'all are just getting the whole experience here. Alright. This is also by LightBurst Media. I wanted to check on that one. Here's the back of that one. I meant to do that with the other one. It's 35 images on here. So while I have some fond memories of my childhood in the 80s, the 90s is really where I excel memory-wise, because that was definitely, I graduated in 99, so another greeting from LightBurst Media, another social media page, and feedback email address information. They also have a I Love the 90s mix, which includes Vanilla Ice, MC Hammer, No Doubt, which I love singing No Doubt songs in karaoke. Spice Girls, Marilyn Manson, The Verve. Oh my gosh. That last one, like my junior and senior year of high school. Oh, that's, oh, those, yeah. Make sure I get it all on here. There we go. Look just like my high school lockers. You know, I still want that. Maybe from the 90s, but I still want it. I do indeed still want it. Now, it said colored pencils, but I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a lot of markers going down on this stuff. The 80s is where I'm going to be able to get out some of this neon fluorescent stuff and really go to town. I'm sure mine's still in a box somewhere. The stupid thing's probably still dying. Poor thing. That just sounds so awful. Those pants. See, I guess pagers are a 90s thing. I don't even think they were as widely in use when I was in high school as they were before. Maybe more early to mid 90s. Or maybe I just don't remember them all that well. I think I've talked about this before. I had the little clear phone with all the little colored electronic insides to them. And yes, it had a cord on it. Oh my gosh, them stupid slap bracelets. Shh. Yep, remember those. Here's another one of those, looking around the room, finding all the different little bits and pieces. Oh my gosh. You can't do that on television. I used to watch it all the time as a kid. I want those socks. Still to this day, I would want those socks. I'm pretty sure everybody owned that sweater. But, yeah, I used to watch it all the time when I was a kid. And we found it, and I watched a few episodes, like, I don't know, this was a year or two back. And I was just like, why did I find this funny? Sometimes I find stuff from my youth, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is a classic. I loved it then. I still love it. And then there's other stuff that I'm just like, why? Here's another one of those rooms. Ugh, Furbies. That was something I never got. Freaking IMAX. Even back then, I was an anti-Mac girl. Those prom pictures. I had one of those like indestructible phones. When I was a freshman in high school, I got mine. And I shut that thing in a car door, and it still worked for like 6 months. I could barely see the screen. All that in a bag of chips. I could still use that thing 6 months later. I tell you what, if I smash my cell phone I have now... Wait, let's go back to that last one. There we go. If I smash that thing in the door, it would be done for. So here are their other books again. I'm curious about that sci-fi one. I'm going to have to look into that one. Bunch of blank pages back here. Always nice to have. Alright, so I think that pretty much wraps up what I have for y'all today. I hope you enjoyed this, and like I said, I will try to do a color and chat maybe this weekend if I'm feeling up to it, and we will go from there. So thanks guys for watching, and bye for now.